All right, guys. I have fun with the last community cast I just finished, and there were a few more replays I wanted to get to, so I reached out to my group of friends to ask if they had some replay files that they could send to me. I haven't seen what they sent to me. I'm hoping it's some of the games that were really fun and close them down to the wire. We'll see. And it's also nice because people tend to save the games that they win. So maybe in these games, we'll see some that I lose. Who knows? But let's check it out. So first game here, actually, I was not involved in. We've got a matchup between Menace and Costas versus Navarre and Time Lord. I'm assuming Navarre and Time Lord are on the same team because they always are, and because they're great friends IRL. For you internet junkies who don't know all the lingo, it's IRLs in real life. Probably there was no need to explain that. Anyways, they played this game like just after I went to bed. I was playing it with Time Lord for most of the night. So let's see what happens here. So looks like Costas is. I'm assuming he's playing the High Elves, and then Menace is playing Empire because he was on a bit of an Empire kick on that particular night. So Witch Hunter, a Light Wizard, Empire Knights, Demigryph Knights, some Great Swords, Halberds, like just kind of a pretty balanced roster here. From the Empire, the High Elves, they're looking at a rush build with a bunch of Rangers, surprisingly, some Archers, and some White Lion Chariots, which you don't see too often, I guess, but cool. We'll see how they do. There's the Doomflayers on the other side, which are kind of similar to the White Lion Chariots, probably in terms of their role on the battlefield. You've got Rat Ogres over here, and Spears. We got the Plague Priest, probably Ikit somewhere here. Yep. Ikit Claw, Warlock Engineer, more Doomflayers. So actually a lot of infantry killing power being brought by both sides with 3 chariot builds from the High Elves, plus a dragon. Don't forget the Dragon Breath can be savage on infantry. And yeah. So there's one Dwarf Cannon. So it looks like the Dwarves have decided to challenge the Empire slightly to a shootout. And let's take a look, go over arching battlefield here. So we have Skaven moving up on the left flank, some units from Menace countering to square up with that on the far flank. Something's got wrapped up here. Some spears completely are going to get overrun here. Rangers are going right into the Slayers, which is a great matchup for them. They do have pretty good foot speed, I believe. 40 foot speed versus the 40 foot speed of Slayers. So that is an even matchup from the speed perspective. And yeah, very cost-effective situation for the Slayers. But of course the Dawi front line is holding, and it's now being buffed with some Skaven slave spears who are going to get into the rear of those Rangers. And the Rangers, they can't kill quick. They don't have amazing staying power, so we'll see how that pans out. Rat Ogres are in here using their mass along with the Doomflayers to make it difficult for these White Lions chariots to basically engage and pull out. So I think Costas might want to think about spreading them out a little bit, making it a little bit harder for a single unit of Rat Ogres plus the Doomflayer to net them. Of course, if you don't use them, then they're not getting you any value, but we'll see. Emmerich's just kind of flying above the shooting line right here. I don't know what... So he's going to rip a breath on the Ironbreakers. Not the worst in the world. Ironbreakers are a nuisance to deal with, and breath attack means the less Ironbreakers on the field, the less you have to fight them, but Dragon Breaths from the High Elf Star Dragons, they tend to do best against individual entities. So maybe, I don't know, maybe against Ikit over here would have been a better use of the breath attack. Also, Council Guard's not a bad option for a breath attack either, because they are a nuisance to kill. I know Ironbreakers are in the same ballpark of cost, but honestly, between the two, I think Council Guard is just the more challenging to get off the field, let's say. So Lion's Trace are doing a lot of work on the Dwarves though. They are definitely causing the Dwarves problems. If the Dwarves don't have Wrath and Ruin, that can create issues for them in dealing with heavy chariot play. Balance bar pretty even right now. Maybe trending slightly in favor of Skaven and Dwarves. Over here, the Warlock Engineer is dealing with these Spearmen pretty effectively. To counter this play, maybe you do need an Empire Captain on foot. Of course, the risk of that is if Time Lord were to bring a Hell Pit, then the Empire Captain just gets run over. And we have seen Time Lord bring the Hell Pit on many occasions, so hard to know. Council Guard are about to get Where is the count? I thought I saw the council guard there, but that can't be council guard. Oh, Emmerich getting in here. He's going right for the plague priest. It's a good choice. Definitely, if you can take the summons off the field, that can help the cause a lot. Baumgart's still dead even here. Rune Lord holding tight with the support of his Dwarf Forest and Ironbreakers. It's pandemonium right here. On the back, you've got the Lifecaster getting wrapped up by the Skaven Menace with the Doomflayers and the Rat Ogres chipping in there. That is a big loss for the High Elves if that Lifecaster does die. Costas, maybe thinking that he couldn't be losing his Lifecaster here, is going to try and pump out an additional heal. I don't think he's going to escape. Doomflayer is being used to pin the Lifecaster in place. But while all of that is in the back, maybe a bit of an overcommit to that Lifecaster. I know it is really important to get him off the field, but that is a lot of units that are and resources that are being committed to taking out one Lifecaster, which is creating opportunities for the Empire and the High Elves to kind of regroup and smash Navarre over here. Granted, Dwarves are quite used to being smashed, so it's not the end of the world for them, I guess. But yeah, Empire Knights and Demigryph Knights. Demigryph Knights Halberds, I don't know if you need them in this matchup, but I guess they wanted something in case there wasn't help with that they were going to put up against. So Breath Attack does go down on Gotrek, it looks like. But I think he will be able to heal most of that. Is Imrik going to go for that Plague Priest again? We'll see. If he does, he risks turning his back to Gotrek or getting snared by the Rat Ogres. If he chooses not to, goes after the Dwarf Warriors instead. I believe that is the right decision. These Empire troops need to just back away here. They're just not going to win this fight. You got Thorgrim, you got the Auric armor from the Warlock Engineer. You've got the Rat Ogres, the Chariots, the Dwarf support. It's just not going to win here. And that does go down. And I don't know if it's necessary against the Dwarves. I'm not sure why. I don't know why you're bringing that against the Dwarves. Against Skaven, maybe. But anyway, Imrik is in here. He's able to break the Rat Ogres almost. They're wavering. If you can break the Rat Ogres, then they lose the mass, right? Killing Rat Ogres is a big deal. Over here, we've got 3 units of Free Company Militia shooting into this wall, and I think, yeah, I don't think it's Imrik that's doing it. I think it's the handgunners. Okay, so another net comes down here. So Marcus Wolfheart net plus the Light Wizard net. So now you see, I think the net is being used to good effect. In a tournament, you would not be able to bring 2 copies of the Net of Amantog, or two immobilizing spells. But this is a casual friendly match, I guess, so there's no rules in that regard. Anything goes. Doomflayers are trying to push that back line. But yeah, Empire is starting to push the balance bar a little bit in their favor now, I think, because we are starting to see the Rat Ogres drop. And the Dwarves they're keeping it really tight in here with the Council Guard. They are getting, of course, the Guardian effect from the Council Guard. You can see that there. Yeah, so at some point the question is, are those guns, I guess, going to be able to draw out the Empire from that defensive hold that they have right now? There are clarinets that are being used to screen the Free Company Militia, so I think Menace will have to be disciplined in how he's using his ammunition, I guess. The Chariots and Imrik are being used to great effect against that summon. Meanwhile, I don't know what the guns are shooting at, but yeah, all of these are great targets now. Ikit just got shot really hard here. I guess he got trapped by the Sterler's Revenge or something like that. Sorry, I just had to scratch my face, but I think it caused some issues. But yeah, I think Empire might be able to pick things apart now with their shooting. They have the shooting advantage and the mobility advantage, and usually in a game you gotta have either shooting or mobility to win against good players anyways. So we'll see how it pans out. I've been wrong before, but balance bar is shifting pretty heavily here. In terms of bullets, this unit has a lot of ammunition. Oh, here's a summon. Council Guard down to 1 model, but 1 model is enough for a Guardian. Defensive block. Got Spearmen in the back, High Elf Archers shooting in. They're going after the Doomflayers. I don't know if that's the highest priority target at this stage in the game. There's a lot of things that can deal with the Doomflayers, like the Demis, like Imrik. On the other hand, killing the Dwarf Lords, that's a thing. But Imrik got a huge breath attack here on the Rune Lord. Where Rune Lord, not really the most mobile of lords on the chair. And so he is going to be taken down, I think. Fast forward this and we'll probably go on to the next game. Unless something dramatic happens, I'm calling this one. Yeah, so this is a victory to Costas and Menace. Very, very well played game for both sides. And interesting to see, what kind of things people thought would counter each other. I think Skaven maybe could have been deployed a bit closer to the doors, and they might have been able to help out a little bit more, like early on, to keep the cannon online. The cannon did get kind of wrecked early, as did the Slayers. I think the Slayers, if they were supported by some Clan Rat summons or something, they could have maybe peeled away from the Rangers on the High Elf side. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. Let's go to the next one. We got He. This game is featuring, again, I'm not in this one. There's Phoenix playing Greenskins, who I don't know. There's Menace and Costas. There's Time Lord playing High Elves. Jojo, who is also known as Meme Lord. He used to hang out with us a lot more in the Dark Dynasty chat, but now he still pops his head in once in a while. And then, of course, Navari Sibris, who you've seen play Dwarf many times, probably, if you watch this channel. He is our resident Dwarf expert. So Menace, he's got Wulfric. Pretty balanced build, sort of what I would expect from most Norscan players, something similar to this. No Marauder champions, more like sort of light tier stuff. Interesting to see the Great Weapon variant. Lagging a little bit here. Time Lord has got it's Arcane Phoenixes, I believe. Arcane Phoenix. Does he have Teclis? No, he has 2 Arcane Phoenix. No, 1 Arcane, 1 Flamespire. Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. We got Salamander, Hunting Packs back here. Lightcaster, Ilariel. Bastiladon, Crocscore Ancient. Lord Croak, haven't seen him in ages. What's up, Croak? He got hit with about 7 Nerf bats because he was that OP on release. Now he's kind of where he should be. He's not a pushover. He still serves his role, but he's just not amazing at everything like he used to be. He's still really good at what he does though. Anyway, Ragnarok Spider. Azhag the Slaughterer. Azhag is way too deep. Way too deep. He's gonna die. And probably the Flamespires are gonna do that to him. Drops a Purple Sun on the artillery, which is gonna do absolutely no damage, and yet cost him 18 wounds of magic. That is horrible use of your winds of magic. Do not use big vortex spells like Purple Sun or Banishment or other things of that sort on a cannon. If you want to use Spirit Leech or Arcane on Foraging, that can kill a cannon with a couple of casts. You're not going to do it straight up on the first cast, but definitely not a Purple Sun. Not cost effective. So over here, Azhag is stuck up with the Flamespires. There are some Marauder Hunters with Javelins that could support. They are not doing that. But the Free Company Militia have rotated over, and they are doing that. So, yeah. Burning Head ripping right across this front line. Temple Guard, very high armor. They're going to be able to shrug the Burning Head. They also have high leadership. On the other hand, the Skinks don't like the fire. They are aquatic, not water people, and they are going to get encouraged to leave the battlefield. The Burning Head does tag the Marauders a little bit, but not the end of the world. The Ragnarok Queen has died, and Azhag has wisely retreated to the support of his anti-air shooting. Of course, the High Elves are definitely known for being able to shrug a lot of damage with those Flamespires. They do have the ability to rebirth, but with a Light Caster, and I don't see a Life Caster, they are a little bit more susceptible than what might otherwise be the case. Crocscore Ancient is holding the front line here with Croak. I do like that tag team. Crocscore Ancient can kind of bodyguard Croak from large single entity monsters and stuff like that. And Croak can kill everything else pretty much. That's a nice synergy. There are some Salamander Hunting Packs shooting into the Free Company Militia and screening them out. I do think the Free Company Militia can just walk up and trade shots because much more affordable. We'll see. This unit of Salamanders has been stuck up, and a rear charge from Marauder Horseman can get into Salamanders. It's a very nice charge there from, I believe Menace is playing Murska, so nicely done Menace. Kroka is going to get wrapped up from Chariots, which is kind of a weird assault unit, let's say, against something like that. But hey, if that's what you got, that's what you use. Thumir in there, of course, too. Kroka is taking a lot of damage. And I don't see what happened to the Reaver Crystal. This is turning into a much more effective cast with that Purple Sun. Kills a 400 gold unit of Skink Javelins. And almost a unit of Skinks over here. Not the end of the world. Wolfric is in here with some spears. And both fours are online and happy in the backside. There's Flamespire as well. And over here it's kind of a wash, just Doors locking up with Greenskin Infantry. But the shooting pocket back here is very safe. There's a lot of stuff that's routing off in the far distance. Reviv Crystal has been tagged by Fenrir and Demigryph Knights, so that's a really nice pickup if they can force the fight and get the Reviv Crystal off the field. Balanced fight so far, super even. We got Starlight's Revenge, Free Company Militia, and other things. Somehow the Dwarves have made their way over to this part of the field, I guess to shut down some of the shooting, but they will be cycled by Chariots, and a good number of them, which will help to even that out and negate their effect. The Kroxor Ancient has found his way onto a Witch Hunter. He should win that fight very decisively, but 3 units of guns are going to be making him pay for that slight on the Empire. Probably accusation is being cast here. Kroxor Ancient taking a lot of damage. Overall, not worth it. Aztec is here as well. He could probably charge the Kroxor Ancient and break him, but I don't think they have immune to Psych. I'm not seeing it. That icon is blocking it for me. He does have fear, but yeah, maybe a Terror Row would have been an option against Kroxor Ancient if Aztec were to temporarily land there. The Bastildon Crystal looks like it has been taken out of the fight. That is a very big pickup for the Empire. And Norskin players, over here the Witch Hunter is just being a nuisance for the Flamespires, just to screen them out with chipping damage over time. Basically making it so that they can't just hover over the army or sit still for a long period of time. There's some charges here from the Chariots. Menace doing a good job of keeping them active. He has used all 3 units basically in tandem to charge, probably simplifying his micro a little bit. The Kroxor Ancient, which was in trouble here a little bit earlier, is now officially dead. But the Dwarf leadership is very much intact. We have Gotrek, Ungrim, and Felix, who can late game in many cases just single-handedly carry. And because they are healthy, even though the frontline fight seems to be going pretty well for Norskins and Empire and Greenskins, yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done. There's of course Alariel here as well. Oh, so they do have access to heal. So Alariel can heal. She can heal the Arcane Phoenixes. She can of course also heal the Dwarf Hero Blob, which is just as valuable, if not more so. The Arachnarok Queen has been screened out and is basically done for the fight. So really, what does Empire have going for them? Well, they have Nats and more Nats, and they have 3 units of Gunners. Very, very even fight. On the other side, we've got a Bolthrower and yeah, just kind of a regrouped High Elf army here, trying to figure out, I think, what to do next. The Horsemen are looking for opportunities. For now, they're content to just shoot into the back of the Marauders. Or sorry, the Source Warriors. Fireball coming in here. And I guess it's going to go on the Gotrek. Yeah, not the worst. Not the best, not the worst. Balance bars, slightly in favor of Dawi and High Elves right now. Spearmen are being charged by Marauder Hunters. Marauder Hunters are not the best melee units, but they're not the worst either for as far as missile units go. They were out of ammunition, so at this point I guess they're disposable. This unit of javelins has been shot down by the Correlers, so nice pickup there by Navarre. Or Navarre, or Navarre, or whatever. Good job. Oof, Gotrek got erased. His little heal did pop, but not in time, so I think the guns just probably just shot him down. So the lack of clothing not working in his favor in this case. High Elf still healthy though, still a balanced game. Could go either way. Dwarves are being aggressive, pushing that infantry right into the Empire stuff. I don't know if stuff is the right word, but yeah. And I don't think they're going to have any hope of catching it. You do see Menace is just retreating here. And these guys are not in a happy place. Of course, the Wish Hunter is there as well. And again, you got to remember, there's 2 nets here. So at any time, if your back is facing them, and I mean, usually I don't bother netting doors, but if you do, you're going to take a lot of bullets in the back. All right, the Lords have been isolated. I do expect to see some shots coming in here. And yeah, guns, guns, guns. The second net being popped on the Warriors. I think it was the second net. Maybe they just walked into the first net, which can cause them to get snared. Major fight here, major fight. So what do we have? 2 Flame Spires. We've got the Familiar Warriors. Wolfric is in here on his chariot. That's Hunter of Champions and Standard Die. There's Leard Reavers, a Shaman Sorcerer. Our Chariots, just a mash up here. This is a crazy, very important fight. Free Company Militia are in the back. They can shoot the Flame Spires from other flanks depending on their line of sight. Arcane Phoenix is going to drop a huge Vortex spell right on highly Chevron doing the Halberdiers. Very nice value for the High Elves. Another net coming down here on the Dwarf Hero Blob. It's going to give the Chariots a chance to perhaps escape and come over here and help shore up the back line. We shall see. The Sumera looks like they were not affected by the net, and they are pushing through. And Alarielle is here to heal if needed. In terms of backline, the Dwarven Cannon has broken, but it will probably rally and come back. I do think the High Elf Bullthrower has been eliminated or ran out of ammo. And yeah, now it's just Demi time. It's Demi time. That's what time it is. Demis are going to get a full surround on this Arcane Phoenix. That is a huge pickup if they can lock it in there, prevent it from pulling out. Free Company Militia should be pulled back probably at this point, now that you have the Demis with the full surround. But there are of course still Rangers here, so I guess the Free Company Militia is helping out with that. And now it's a super close fight. Balance bar is shifting slightly in favor of the High Elves. So Felix is over here. We've got some Slayers that are fighting Free Company Militia, just trying to, I guess, cut down the number of angles from which they can be attacked. Honestly, the Slayers might be better used in here against the Flame Spires, but I certainly can appreciate wanting to take some guns off the field. And in terms of mobility, Slayers are the best option for chasing stuff down. 40 speed, they can catch stuff if they're not being shot before they get there. So Mage of Light is in here with the Famir and other things. I do think that will go in favor of the... Looks like the Dwarves and High Elves are coming out on top there. Blob fights tend to favor Dwarves. High Elves not so much. But yeah, got a Flame Spire, very low HP. Another one on the low side of things. Marcus Wolfhard is trying to shoot this one, but yeah, the Flame Spire does get the proc and go back to about 30% HP. So not getting that full bar, I guess, because there's already a healing cap, having probably received some heals already from Malaria. This other Arcane Phoenix is at its healing cap. Balance bar is still dead even. We are 12 minutes into the fight, and it is way too early to call. Fire Phoenix is going to charge into these Free Company Militia, and with the Terror, it's going to break it off, but Wolfhard is on the job. He does do his locked and loaded ability here. At least it looked like he was going to. Maybe it just went out of range. Yeah, there it is. And down goes the Flame Spire. This one is not getting up. That is one dead chicken. Over here, we've got Ungrim still just going to work on the Halberds, chipping them down. Still a dead even fight. But I don't know if Alarielle and the Lightcaster, it is a Lightcaster, right? Yeah. I don't know if they're going to be able to grind it out. We'll see. I think they need to be staying very close to Ungrim and the Slayers right now, because if they get isolated by Famir and other things, they could die. Marcus drops another Flame Spire, so he's certainly caused a lot of problems, I think, for the High Elves. Still a dead even battle. Oh my goodness. I'll fast forward a little bit here because I am starting to fade. I'm getting a little bit tired. The Demis break off. Alarielle, on a last shred of health, continues to be shot. She is dead. Now it's just the doors. It's their turn to be shot or enveloped, one or the other. The mobility advantage is now fully in the hands of the Empire, and I think they should be able to snipe out the last Dwarf heroes and Cyclone Charge them and do all that goodness that they are certainly capable of doing. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes, but to make it official. But I don't think there's any coming back here at this point for the Dwarfs. Ammunition is low. Also low here. But yeah, cycle charges. It's going to do it. Alright, so I'm going to call this one and move on. Well played to Menace and Costas. Well played to Time Lord and Navarre. That was some fun stuff. And maybe Time Lord is also experimenting with some of those new units that have just come to the fore. Phoenix, I haven't played with you before, but welcome to the game, I guess. Maybe we'll get to play some other time. I got 2 games here from Spiffy. I feel kind of bad I missed him on the first pass, so I'm gonna get those casted, and then I'm gonna take a break from it. So the first game here, so let's do this one first because I'm in it, so I'm biased. I want to see it. I don't even remember this game. I'm playing Dark Elves. Spiffy's playing Vampire Coast. We're going up against Kevin, Hall, Tech, and Luster as Warriors of Chaos in the Empire. Oh yeah, so I'm bringing out a meme build for sure. I got 5 units of deck gunners and cannons. No, that's Spiffy. Spiffy's got 5 deck gunners, 4 cannons, and Queen Bass. So he is shoot 'em up, guns out, welcome to Texas kind of style right now. And I am not, I guess, going Dark Elf. Oh yeah, so I've got, this must be around the time that I was playing around with the Witch Elf build. So it's similar. With the 5 Witch Elves, I've got the Scissor Slaughter. In this case, I've got Death Hag, my Dark Riders, and this one has a unit of Cold One Knights. I do tweak the build. That seems to make sense. Queen Bess is going to try and tag these Chaos Warriors, but I don't think there's been any accuracy buffs. So if you are going to bring Queen Bess, you might want to bring a gunner your way just to make sure that those rocks are actually able to hit. So right now it's 2 shots that have done 0 damage, so sucky for Queen Bess. Now Chaos is running a heavy infantry build here where they're just going to try and push and take out the front line. The Death Hag is extraordinarily well suited to dealing with that, but I do have to be careful of Archaon and of course these Chaos Pharaoh Manticores. That is 3 Pharaoh Manticores, 3 Manticores plus the 1 Exalted Hero. So that is 3 very dangerous sort of duelist type of characters that I need to be, 4 if you include that I have to be very wary of. But these deck gunners, deck gunners, are perfectly suited for dealing with something like this. On the other hand, ouch, burning head. But deck gunners, they are in a fairly loose formation, and as long as they don't lose unit models, it's not really that big of a deal. And so far, they have all of their unit models because their HP was still very high. The Archaon is getting wrapped up here by some fellbacks and other things. As for myself, I'm just playing with some Snickler's Race Guard in the back line. And honestly, not doing a whole hell of a lot just yet. I'm definitely waiting until our opponents have fully commit to engaging with Spiffy, and then I'm going to use that opportunity to try and countercharge. Some fellbacks are getting tagged here by Pistoliers, but I don't want to start chasing Pistoliers all over the map. If we're going to get in a shootout, at this point in time, we have the advantage of shooting by far. So it's more important to play defense and maybe help out these Chaos Warriors. So poor Spiffy, man. I've done basically nothing so far, but I promise you I will get active at some point in time. Carronades are getting smashed here by this Chaos Pharaoh Manticore. Deck gunners are trying to fall back a little bit closer to their artillery. And yeah, I think It's going to be gold sign really soon. We're going to see a big cast here from Spiffy going down the Chaos line. Oh, that is beautiful. Only could have waited one more second and dropped it on the Chaos Warriors with Halberds as well. But hey, that was still great value. Very nice cast there from Spiffy. Okay, now it's go time. That's the Losing Sun. We're chasing after the Death Hag. The Vampire Coast front line is mostly crumbled. I need to go to work. Oh, I brought Hellbourne in this battle. That's cool. Witch Elf should be able to rampage these Knights of the Blazing Sun. We can put a little bit more damage on them. There they go. I've been told that it procs at around 20% damage. So once the Witch Elves have done 20% damage onto their target, then that's when you're going to get the Madness of kicking in and the Rampage effect. Up until then, no dice. So we see shots coming in here, missing, more shots. Maybe this one's going to hit. We'll see. But yeah, basically I'm just screening for the Vampire Coast, just trying to keep their artillery online, playing that mid to back line sort of game, and then letting him shoot everything else, just trusting that his shooter is going to be able to carry the frontline fight. Coast does have a lot of disposable summons in, and they can lock things up for a long time without too much support from the Dark Elves, I would assume. So backline is starting to look pretty secure. Polar Knights are being used to also pin these Zentler's Reiksguard, and then Sister's Slaughter with their poison, making it very difficult for them to disengage. Because you do have 66 speed on the Polar Knights, but it's poison effect. These guys are down to 40 speed. No, that's South Australia. What are they at? Yeah, 50 speed. So Polar Knights should be able to take them. Honestly, this is not my best game. I think I played this one pretty relaxed. These Polar Knights should be on the Zentners right now. But hey, nice high call cast from Spiffy, just doing so much damage to all of these low armor Empire troops. I'm going to help out there with the Flock of Doom on my own. And now that the front line has been softened up a little bit, it's time to engage the Sisters. My sorceress, or no, it's not sorceress, Hellbourne is fighting Archaon. I do have the Feral Manticore here who could go and help that as well. And yeah, I just really want to get this cavalry off of the field, because at that point it makes it much easier for us to pick and choose our engagements. Let's say. Some Soulfires are being dropped here, it looks like, from Volkmar. And Archaon the Everchosen is in there as well. But Archaon is now starting to take some shots and some free damage from the Feral Manticore. I say free because it's a disposable unit. He's getting softened up while Hologram is buttering her bread on the back. But yeah, it looks like the Chaos Warriors' great weapons are trading fairly evenly with the Witch Elves. It says Witch Elves are losing decisively, but I think overall, with the support of the terror-causing Death Hag and the Blood Shield, they're doing alright. They're doing alright, all things considered. Bounce Bar is starting to trend slightly in our favor now. If we get Archaon off the field, I do sense that we might be able to hit some terror routes with the big Cauldron of Blood. Some infantry here could be probably used to push in here. Honestly, Volkmar could just go deep in the back line at this point too, I guess. Looks like that's what he's going to try and do. So Lifecaster in the back. Witch Elves and Light Cav are chasing off a lot of potential threats, just making sure that they don't come back to the battlefield. Now we've got Volkmar the Grim in here on Queen Bess. Queen Bess is no in the mission, so it's irrelevant at this point. Tide Call being used to snare and just slow things down. And he's taking a lot of damage from shooting. Just deck gunners and other things chipping away at him. I think these bats, the deck droppers, could probably be used to pick Archaon. They do have a bit of a better angle on shooting into him than the deck droppers do, just because they're flying. So yeah, Volkmar's coming in here. I think I'm going to go chase after the Lightcaster with Hellbourne. That should be a good pickup for me. Of course, I have to be careful because there's a Chaos Feral Manticore right next by. The Chariot from the Death Hag is going to smash the handgunners. And it looks like we've secured our backline, we pushed their backline, and it's pretty even in the midline, but I think we're starting to get some traction there. So I think this game is pretty much done. The Cold Knights are decently healthy, having just fought some Reiksguard with a bit of support. And I think at this point you're going to see Volkmar get killed from shooting. And yeah, these Pistoliers needed to be thrown into melee to shut all this down. They're just sitting back here shooting at a Carronade, and the Deck Gunners, well, the Deck Gunners just erase Volkmar. So a misplay, I think, or a missed opportunity, let's say, for the Empire player to just shut down the Deck Gunners, because that could have possibly brought them back in the game. A banishment will be dropped, but not super effective on them, I guess. And once Volkmar dies, it's over. Yeah, there he goes. All right, last battle is from Spiffy. And then I need to go take a nap after this because I am tired. Whew. I need some food as well. We've got... I got wrecked. So Capo and... hi Capo, by the way. It's been a long time since we played together. Capo and Spiffy are going up against Anarian. Oh, I recognize him. He was a pretty solid high elf player. And then Jay Morno. I don't know him. Oh, we got the campaign units. So if you got wrecked, Spiffy, that might be why. We're seeing 3 units of campaign greatswords, 2 hellblasters, just all 3 units of Sigmar Suns, 3 units of probably unbreakable spears. I don't know what they are, but there's almost all campaign units for the Empire. And Eldred's Guardsmen. What do they even do? Eldred's Guard. I don't know. They just have more armor, I guess. Probably better leadership. Not the best, honestly. Oof. Mounted Yeoman getting smashed. This is going to be brutally hard for Spiffy here. See with Anarion and his Rangers and stuff too. He's got Teclis, the Omen of Assyrian. That's certainly a competitive build. Pretty balanced front line. Very limited mobility outside of the Lions of Trace in the back. Oh, he does have 2 of them. So yeah, there's some ROR units from the High Elves. Definitely more than we could normally bring. You call Bolthorus are shooting at some spears. A bit of an awkward choice, honestly. We're better off shooting these Carroburg greatswords. Regular Havius. So that's one unit that isn't a campaign unit. Yeah, this Empire Swords of Ulrich. What do Swords of Ulrich do? Units of Psychology. Honestly, Sigmar Suns are probably better. They have Frenzy. That's pretty cool. Cannons shooting in here. At the Lions, it looks like. Some spears are braced to intercept that charge. A few models are going to sneak by, and here comes some spooky fear debuffs. It's going to have almost no effect. Although I guess on the artillery, which doesn't have great leadership, it could cause them to break, and that could be enough for the High Elves. Hellstorm has shredded the companions of Cornell, and Yeomen have fallen off. The second units of Cav, the reserves, are being brought in here. We got Grail Knights and Royal Peg Knights. We're going to make a play, I guess, for the Hellstorm. At least one of them. The other one is out of ammunition, having already done its job by taking out the Questing Knights. Some archers are in the background, just real quick. The Bright Wizard is here with General of the Empire. I do expect we'll start to see some burning heads ripping across the front line. And probably kill the Rangers. I don't know if it's as good on the Silver Guard because of their high armor. Handgunners are shooting here, but Hellstorm's making short work of these Pleasant Bowmen. Honestly, if you're Britannia, it's not the worst to have Hellstorm shooting at your Bowmen because there's probably other more expensive things it could be shooting at, like the Grail Knights, for example, which are fighting Demigryphs and Halberds, so they are in an awful situation. They definitely need to be pulled back, and Spiffy's going to do that now. The other unit gets into the handgunners and shuts them down. Meanwhile, Call France has been mucked up by Spiffy. Grail Knights and the Peg Knights are going to do a lot of damage on him if they can keep him pinned there. There's a light caster in the back though, so if things get too dicey, we might see them get snared and then going back. Chain Lightning has been dropped here by Technos, but hasn't done too much. And the front line is starting to get softened up here. Arcane Phoenix has dropped in a nice Fortress Skull. Just one unit of these spears. Just trying to, I guess the strategy is he's going after the spears and then he's going to try and cycle charge the great swords. I'm not really sure about that one. Silver Guards somehow magically are able to wrap around the back here and lock up the General of the Empire. That was a great place for them to be-ish. The Swords of Ulrich can also do a lot of damage to them, so we'll see. One Arcane Phoenix does drop down and start hitting on the great swords. I don't think that's the best place for it to be. There's still a Hellstorm Market Battery that's in line. There's Karl Franz. There's a lot of other things that can be fine. I do think Karl Franz would be the optimal use of the skills of the Arcane Phoenixes. They can go after him. 2v1, Teclis plus that Arcane Phoenix are going to be able to challenge Franz to a fight. And certainly prevent him from cycle charging and doing other things. Still a pretty even fight across the board. Battle Pilgrims fighting Demis. I think it should be a kind of a wash, maybe favor the Battle Pilgrims. Another Chain Lightning gets dropped. This one does originally go for the handgunners, then it just sits over Hellstorm. And almost breaks it. It does break the Hellstorm. So in this case, we saw a game where the Arcane, what was it? No, the Purple Sun, Azirius, did absolutely nothing to artillery. In this case, the Chain Lightning did do some stuff. Still a lot of Winds Magic, but the bounce spell from Teclis goes down and gets across the line here. It does take some handgunners. Not really a great success on the artillery though. Dead even fight here. Handgunner's getting chipped down. Spiffy has basically nothing left over here. I didn't catch what happened to his lord. I am getting tired, like I said, but I'm determined to push through this last replay. Halberdiers and the Battle Pilgrims are going toe-to-toe with the supporter of... Is 2 units Battle Pilgrims? Yeah, it's a good fight for the Battle Pilgrims. The Halberds are dead. Grail Relic is fleeing, but it'll rally because it's a Grail Relic. And Teclis and stuff are fighting these, I think, unbreakable greatswords. Yes, they in the back line, another Arcane Forging was down on Hellstorm. He's really determined to take that out. That's a lot of wins, man. I would rather use that on field. If you've got both rows, you can just snipe out the Hellstorm with the both rows if you're really that worried about the Hellstorm. Save your wins for other things. I think dead even fight here. Spiffy's still got his archers. They're going to shoot up these halberdiers, do some nice damage on them. Shrine of Assyrian is doing well. The General of the Empire is almost dead. I think balance is starting to pull in favor of Bretonnia and the High Elves, but there are regrouped units here. The only issue is, look at where they are. You got Hellstorm batteries, which are really important, but they're so far off their artillery right now. If they do try and reman it, they got to deal with Battle Pilgrims plus Bowmen. I don't think it's going to happen. Somehow these Bowmen have got to die first before the Hellstorm can regroup there. There's a couple of series of events that need to happen. Greatsword is getting killed by shooting. About 30% of the ammo is left here on these Gate Guard and these archers with light armor. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There are still a lot of ROR type of units here. Eldred's Guard and Swords of Ulrich. So I think that's what's keeping the Empire in the game right now. We'll see. We should be able to trade decently well against the pretty tattered High Elf infantry. The Bolthrower are paying dividends here. Does shut down one of the war wagons, which shouldn't have been in Bolthrower range. Should have just backed up. Teclis gets in. It looks like he charged the Demigryph Knights, who got netted. It's kind of a brave fight, right? The Demis are literally Teclis' counter. But the Demigryph Knights, this is not the ROR. They only cause fear. They do not have terror. They are not immune to terror, so they could theoretically tear from the big scary bird, even though it's unlikely. But yeah, with Teclis dying here, that is shifting the balance of power enormously. And now the Empire is starting... Oh, wait a second. No. It's shifting back in favor of Teclis and Bretonnians. Actually, these guys were... The Bretonnians and Teclis were really down, but so maybe actually the Demi is dying was what shifted the balance of power. Of course, the Yeomen have shut down a lot of the shooting, which was really important in pressuring Teclis in that fight. Um, so yeah, just a little bit of mobility issues started to add up for the Empire. Honestly, why is the balance of power what it is? It must just be the RLRs and this Hellstorm which isn't being used. I do think the Bretonnians and Empire have it at this point, despite the balance of power indicating the contrary. So I will fast forward a little bit here, and we'll go to the end screen. Just yeah, there's everything. Everything's breaking. Like what the hell? Balance of power, man. They gotta look into the balance of power issues because there's some games where I'm saying like, man, they are over and they're not. So yeah, congrats to Albrecht, congrats to Capo on the big win. Anarian played. He tried to play a meme game there, but he didn't have heals for Carl France, who got chipped down. And Jay Morno, again, he didn't have heals for his General of the Empire. And I think the both throws were very effective. So there you go. I'm done for now. And yeah, I might still play later tonight. We'll see. But that's cast number 2. I feel like I got Spiffy in there. And I'm happy about that. And thank you, Menace Cost, Time Lord, for sending me those replays. And Spiffy, of course.